All right, what's good? What's good? What's good, man? We're gonna have an interview on the channel today with as soon as he gets on the chat with Pistol Pete Dobson. So once he comes on, man, we'll chop it up with him, man. He's an up and coming welterweight. I think he fought at both 154, but now he's at 147. He's the 22nd ranked welterweight in America, and definitely a really good fight out of the Bronx. So once he comes in, he hits the link and comes in, man, we'll be chopping up with him. Lowest common denominator boxing, home of the demographic. What's good with you, man? He said, Fannon, what do you know about Tyson versus Briggs and bare knuckles, De La Hoya versus McGregor? I'm eager to hear what's on your mind. That shit's not gonna pop up. That shit's not gonna pop off. I don't think Mike Tyson versus Briggs, man. Tyson ain't got any reason to be fighting bare knuckles. I think that's just a bunch of talk. I mean, and it's good fun talk to have, but I don't think that it's anything serious, man. And Conor McGregor ain't gonna fight Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya knock his ass out. I just think that's a lot of good conversation going back and forth. You know what I mean? But if it was to actually happen, I would take Briggs over Tyson, and I would take De La Hoya over McGregor. Depends on whether or not, it depends on whether or not he comes in with heels or not. If he comes in with heels, then nah. I don't think he can. I don't think he'll make it, man. What's going on? Too much. Get your gun app ASAP. I don't know, man. I ain't quite ready for that, man. I got it there. You talking about all this craziness going on? What's going on, Mr. Monk? How you feeling, man? Much love in that super chat. Fannon, De La Hoya can't pass a drug test. Cocaine is hell of a drug. Hell yeah. Man, Oscar De La Hoya ain't getting out there fighting nobody. What's going on, Thomas Moreland? How you feeling? Hope life is well. Hope life is treating you well. We should have Mr. Dobson coming on in a second here. Warren Albert, what's going on, man? How you feeling? So yeah, say Fury dad wants to fight Tyson bare knuckles. Man, will that dude shut up? Like John Fury, one thing I've noticed about like the channels out of the UK, dude, they are really trying to make John Fury into some out to be some decent human being. like man, they trying to sell anything related to Tyson Fury because Anthony Joshua went pop. Tunnelfish said, yeah, I'm getting mine ASAP, about to look like Rambo 5. Hey. Hamad S said, how do you feel about Ahmaud Arbery case being a lawyer? I can't speak about that because I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal attorney. I'm not a criminal lawyer. So what I think is this. What's going on, Calvin Johnson? Like I say, like the same thing. I believe in letting the stuff, play itself out. Like when I saw that the video was going to get when the dude got shot, my first response was to think, okay, when are they going to arrest these guys? Now, with the fact that they hadn't been arrested right away doesn't mean that they're not going to be arrested eventually. That in a couple days later that they won't, feel like they have reason to pull them in. Somebody that was there at the time might have believed that the guy was, that something, that nothing happened wrong, or there was self-defense. Then his superiors could have looked at him and be like, nah, this is some bullshit. We need to pull this dude in. We need to arrest him. So, I feel right now, he said, no, I know that he was a former cop and they probably gave him the benefit of the doubt, but he's a former cop that's arrested now. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But just the way that I go, he said they're going to find a way to justify it. Well, we'll see. We'll see. That's my take. I'm kind of like, I wait to see. I don't get upset. I try not to get upset about things until I see how they play out. Now, the fact that those guys would chase that dude down in the street and do the things that they did, the way that they did, it's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. And my belief is those dudes should be facing the death penalty. If Florida's a death penalty state, they need to be facing the death penalty because they ran, from what I can see, they ran a man down who was running on a public street right? The dude's running on a public street. That neighborhood doesn't own those streets. The man is running down a public street. But yet you guys decide. You said this happened in February. I mean, yeah, that's slow. That's slow. But let's see how it plays out. But then again, as I told you guys yesterday, man, this type of shit doesn't surprise me. It just doesn't surprise me at all that it happened. It doesn't surprise me that it would take them a long time and had to have public pressure put on them to do anything about it. It wouldn't surprise me if those guys got off scot free. None of that shit would surprise me. Hamad has said the shooting happened February 3rd. Come on, you can't be serious. I can't be serious about what? I'm dead fucking serious. I'm dead serious. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? I want to see. I am generally speaking. It's not my. First of all, matter of fact, fuck that. I'm going to say what I say. Look, I believe what the fuck I believe. Okay, I'm just going to be straight with you. I am not surprised at all that dude got shot like that. I've seen the shit happen every year that I've been alive. Every year that I've had memory. Every year that I've had memory, I know of this happening. That shit could have happened to me. Could have happened to me. I've been in situations like that, not with the shotgun, not getting chased down with a shotgun, but I've been chased down. I know what that environment is, and it doesn't surprise me at all. And it doesn't surprise me at all that the cops and all that would move very, very slowly in a way, in prosecuting it, especially if the guy is a cop and the guy's sitting there saying, "Oh no, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened." If they're lying to the cops, you just don't know. You know what I mean? You just don't know. Because what happens if the police guy said, "Well, no, he came at my house and it was self-defense and whatever." Fuck, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that he's arrested. Said, and we're going to say, let it play out. Yeah, I want to see it play out, because then I'll know. If the guy gets the death penalty, it's a situation where it's exactly how it looked, right? That they played out exactly how it looked. And it winds up being a situation where those guys get the death penalty, then hey, everybody feels like, I suppose, that justice is served. And if justice was served at the end, hey man, we might have got a little bit of ahead of it to begin with. My thing is, I hold off my, I have disgust for the way it went down, because I know that's how it's going to go down. That shit does not surprise me at all. That is something that can happen tomorrow. That is something that can happen the day after next, because it's something that happens on a consistent basis. As far as the justice system, though, goes, I say, let's see what happens when it plays out. Do they go to trial? Does the grand jury throw it out? Right? Does the prosecutor try his best not to get them indicted? Similar to the way that they treated the police officer in the Michael Brown killing. Like, I want to see the whole thing play out. Similar to the way that the O.J. Simpson thing went. With O.J. Simpson, it was the other side of it, right? There was a bunch of people who are of, European descent that thought O.J. Simpson needed to go to jail, and they wanted to throw him underneath the jail right away. And what happened was, we're like, okay, let's go through the process. The process was he got off, and now they were all up in fucking arms about the shit. So if they go through the process and the guys don't get punished, then I will say, hey man, justice was not served. Justice was not served. Anyway, you cut it though, racism is real. And there's no way outside of that. But the justice, the punishment of those two particular men are not going to solve the problem. It's not going to bring the dude back to life. And it doesn't really matter how it turns out in the end, as far as black people being awake to the situation. Because as you recall, not too long ago, you had Paulie Malignaggi Yeah, sorry, man. My mic went out because I moved my thing around. You had people saying, yeah, okay, I got it now. Thank you. Sorry about that. Let me back up a little bit. With dark substance evidence in OJ? What do you mean dark substance? What about evidence in OJ? What do you mean evidence in OJ? And put it down because I'll read it. But what do you mean evidence in OJ? We all know OJ did that shit though. Hell, he basically admitted it. Look, man, the problem with OJ wasn't whether he did it or not. The problem with OJ. Let me see this. Send this link again. Hey. Oh, no, not that one. Okay, I must have sent. He said he didn't get the link. Let me send this link out again. Pete. Oh, I messed it up. Okay. All righty. So hopefully, Pistol Pete Dobson got that link. Yeah, man. Yeah, Pistol Pete Dobson. We'll talk to him and tell you about it, man. So hopefully you got that one. I think I might have left an R. If you're listening, my man, I think I left an R. I think I put Pete instead of Peter. Because I was thinking Pistol Pete, not Pistol Peter. Too much facts. Too much facts for OJ. The evidence in the OJ trial isn't even comparable. Dude, look, man, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. Let me fucking just, dude, stick to what the fuck I'm talking about, okay? I'm telling you that there were people that thought the OJ Simpson was guilty right off the fucking bat, okay? They thought he was guilty right off the bat. He wind up going to court. You go to court, and then the legal system runs its course. Dude is either guilty or he's not guilty. At that point in time, dude, when you can decide whether or not the legal system has covered their bases and it did what it was supposed to do. Because it's a whole process. It's a whole process. It's from the guy from them making the filing charges to them going to court to them having sentencing. It's a very long process. So right now, I can't say either way. I can't really say either way what I think of it. How the justice system treated it, because it hasn't treated it yet. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. He's from the Bronx. Fannon, does Drew Titan know you got Pistol Pete coming on? Nah, I don't know. I don't think so. If you read the thing. They could prove OJ was guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Haman S., this is what happened, dude. And this could happen too. So we should trust the process. I'm telling you, don't have to trust any fucking body. What I'm telling you is I'm not going to bitch about a process until it's over with. That's what happens. I'm not saying to trust shit. I'm saying you don't know what the fuck is going to happen in that system until you go through the system. I can't complain about what a judge would do or what the district attorney would do before the case is in front of them. They haven't done anything yet. All I can say is that it seems real funny that the guy would wait 2 months to arrest him. That seems like some people at the police level were on some bullshit. Salute for Ron Finkley, please, man. What's going on, Trill Boxing Talk? Much love. That's all I'm saying. You got to let this. I believe you need to let the process play out as far as the justice system goes, because that's what you asked me about. You asked about the justice system, my opinion of the justice system. What I believe about what actually happened was that in the United States, there's the law, and then there's the law. There's the letter of the law. And then there is the law that people abide by. And one of the laws that people abide by is that a black man running down your neighbor full speed, you should shoot him. because you should assume that he's up to no fucking good and he don't belong there, so shoot him. And that's what those guys did. There's no justification for what they did based on what I heard. If the guy is running down the street and they were concerned about him having stole something, it doesn't fucking matter. You are not the police. You do not have the right to chase somebody fucking down because you might think they could have stolen something. The property that they could have stolen is not worth their life. So from everything that I can see, what the guy actually did to me seems like they should be fucking burning in hell, and that the justice system should usher their asses there as quickly as they can. But I can't say about the justice system that it hasn't acted correctly because it hasn't run its course yet. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people were on, like you never heard that's good, Dark Substance. Like you never heard me say anything about what's his fucking name? The crater face dude, not Steve Kim, the other crater face dude. Harvey Weinstein. I never said anything about Harvey Weinstein because I wanted to wait and to see if the dude went to fucking jail. And during the time that he wasn't in jail, people kept saying, oh, he was getting off, he's getting off, he's getting off, he's getting off. And I'm like, I don't know whether he's not getting off or not. I'm going to wait till he gets off or not. You know what I mean? That's where I am. He said, Hamad, that's exactly, Fannon. You can't kill people off of a whim or a mere hunch. Dude, exactly, dude. You can't. You don't have the right to do that. And you're a public danger. You cannot. Here's the thing. If you say you break into my house, right? And you steal my TV and you are running down the street with my TV. I should not, and it depends on where you are, but I should not be able to leave my house with my shotgun, chase you down the street and shoot you. That reaction is way off fucking balance. Way off balance. Way off balance. Because your TV is not worth that man's life. Your TV is not worth that man's life. What you lost is not worth what you took. It's not worth what you took. My man, Pistol Pete in the building, man. I see you. Give me 1 second to introduce you. All right, man. So we got the special guest here. He came in a little late because I fucked up and sent the link to the wrong email. Let's pull in the future champion out here from the Bronx, from the Boogie Down. Your pizza sucks, as everybody knows. I don't like New York pizza. But what's good with you, man?
Every state I go to, they always say New York pizza on the sign. I'm like, we're not even in New York.
What's up, man? So how you doing?
I'm good, man. Just hanging in there. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain about a thing, man. I'm, quarantined, but I'm in the state of Texas. It ain't quite as hectic as it is out there in New York. You in New York right now?
Yeah, I'm in New York. I'm in the Bronx right now. Did they open Texas up? Because I saw they opened up a lot of states.
Yeah, well, they're opening it up slightly. They've loosened some things, man, but people are pretty much still on lockdown. It's just you can go to stores and like they can let like 10 people in certain places. It's open. Yeah, we real stupid. We're opening it up a little quicker. Yeah, man. So look, man, I appreciate you coming on the channel, man. You a welterweight. You're a welterweight, man. The number 22 welterweight in America. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, them ass whoopings you dishing out, they starting to pay off, man. They starting to pay off for you.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to be number 1 in the United States.
Hey, that makes you number 1 in the world, dog. That makes you number 1 in the world. So tell me a little bit about your. Tell me a little bit about your boxing, man. When did you start boxing? What got you into boxing?
I got into boxing when I was like 16. So when I was 14, I tried it out for the summer. But then I went with my cousin, and my cousin, he didn't pay my trainer, and my trainer kept asking me, like, yo, where's your cousin at? He owes me money. So then I stopped going. I only went for like 2 months. I got tired of it. But then when I was like 16, I came back, and that's when I really started taking it serious. Whatever. It was in my aunt's neighborhood, like around the block from my house, they had a boxing gym. And I used to fight like every day in the basketball court because I used to play ball. and I used to just get in a lot of fights. So I just ended up boxing.
So you got them watching too many of them Knicks, huh? In the Golden Knicks, starting them fucking starting fights and shit on the basketball court. I'm like that too, man. I can't play a basketball game without getting a fight. Somebody body up, I want to start throwing hands, man.
Now you know what it was? It was my mouth. I just told man, I'll just be like, yo, you whack. You can't DB, and then that leads to a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Talking, person will be talking and just, you know.
Yeah, man. I can appreciate it, man. So, hey, you know the story I'm gonna ask you about, man, because I watched the Fight Hype video. And there's a lot of dudes. Actually, there's a dude, Drew Titan, who's a big out of New York. I think he's from Brooklyn, though, man. Big boxing fan, man, is on the channel a lot, man. So I'm gonna give you a shout out from him, man. He represents everything New York in boxing. Loves
him.
Yeah, man, good dude, man. The big fan of yours, talks you up all the time, man. Knows a lot of, like a lot of the boxers on the local scene. Except for my man down here, too much thinks you are heavyweight. So can you correct him and tell him that you're not a heavyweight and I didn't fuck that up?
I punch like a heavyweight, but I'm not a heavyweight though. I'm a welterweight.
That's what's up, man. So yeah, man. So tell me about so you used to spar. The best story I've heard about you, man, is that you beat up Adrian Bronner, man. Tell me about Adrian Bronner, man, and the sparring. Because I saw the minute video. I looked down that minute video, but then I saw your interview on Fight Hype, and you were like, that ain't the whole show. I handle my business with Adrian Bronner.
So with the Adrian Bronner situation, like, you know, they say, oh, you shouldn't be talking about sparring and stuff like that. Don't talk about sparring. But my whole thing is he posted a video of sparring and people hitting me up asking me about it. So it's like, it's only right that I tell my side of it or whatever. And tell the truth. Cause even like there were a whole bunch of fighters there, Caleb Plant, like a whole bunch of fighters were there. There was like that video wasn't like that video wasn't valid. You feel me? Like basically Floyd had his cameraman there. He told everyone you can't record. I guess that was when they were like, I think AB was going through something. So Floyd brought him out to Florida. I mean to Vegas or whatever. So then he recorded the sparring, but nobody else had video because his bodyguards was telling everybody to put their phones away. So they're the only ones who had the video. Then they chopped it up and turned it into a 30-second clip. Because it's a 1-minute clip, but for 30 seconds, Floyd is just talking. Floyd and AB are talking for the first 30 seconds. Then the last 30 seconds is like a couple of punches AB landed in the sparring. But realistically in the sparring, I got the best of the sparring. And Floyd even ended up getting out the ring looking disappointed because how his boy was doing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then Floyd was talking shit saying he want to spar me tomorrow, but he ain't come to the gym the next day.
Man, he took a parade, so he took that AB whooping personal, man. That's wild. That's wild. So what so tell me about your career, man. Like, how do you see your career progressing, man? I see that you've beaten some, some undefeated fighters, and we got like, I should look. I'm sorry, man. Forgive me, man. I didn't memorize it, but were you like 15 fights? What's your record right now? I know you're undefeated. I think you paused up. You froze, Pete. You need to come back and come back in. Try to come in and come back in and come back out because you froze. Yeah, we having some technical difficulties. Let me read some comments into the comment section before Pete come back in. I could, if you can come back, go back out and come back in, get another connection, it probably work. He said, gonna whoop Floyd's ass too. Hey man, I wouldn't. Said Plant was there. Oh, you had an audience. Yeah, said salute to Tay Walker. What's going on, Tay Walker? But yeah, man, dude, you could go check out dude's fight, man. He's a real strong fighter. Definitely got a nice pop. Definitely got a nice pop on him, man. Built like a middleweight, man, at 147 pounds. Floyd trying to cut out the stream. Hey, it happens. But look, while we wait for him to come back, man, let me get the rest of that conversation kicking, and we'll bring him back in when he gets in. But we ain't asking Pistol Pete none of these questions about none of this stuff, man. We ain't gonna be putting out it ain't gonna be no situation where he's gonna have to do a Devin Haney and apologize for something he shouldn't be apologizing for. He said, "Can you post the joint link in the chat, Fannon?" No, I cannot. I don't do that, dog. That you got to go to BFT. You got to go to BFTB for that. But my thing is, as far as what we were talking about before, I just think you need to cut. You need to let the justice system play itself out to a certain extent. But as far as before you start talking about what it is that the justice system is doing, but the crime that actually took place, that's just a huge thing, man. And it's not something, and it's something that really is very much commonplace. I mean, do you guys remember in Texas how said Fannon don't want no smoke? I don't know. I just don't give a fuck about what y'all got to say. I'm not gonna, dude. Let me tell you, when we get done with the Pistol Pete interview, dude, trust me, I'll wear your ass out. Okay, don't think I won't. What's going on, man? You back?
Yeah, I'm back. I lost service.
Yeah, man, it's some crazy, man. So, yeah, I can hear you. It's just a little bit of a delay. So, hey, so tell me about your career, man. Like, what is your plan, man? What's your road to the championship? What do you have going on? Like, what do you see yourself doing this year and next year? Because I think you're what, like 30? You're like in the teens. You like, what's your record again? I know you're undefeated. Majority knockout.
Record is no 7 knockouts.
Pete, it's a bad connection, man. It's froze again. It's frozen again. I got your email, man. Let's try to do this because I don't know if this connection is going to get any better. Let's try to do this in a video, and I'll move so we make sure we can really get that. We can really get it down. Yeah, because it keeps freezing. I'll send you an email. I'll send CC an email and see how we can arrange it in a way so we can arrange it in a way where you really can be heard. Because we definitely want to get it out there. We'll do a whole video in the whole nine, man. Let people know, man. And make sure you guys go check out, because I think this is going to be tough to do. You there? What's good, Underground Asylum? All right, man. So I'm gonna take Pete out. Hey, Pete, let's hook it up next time. Let's hook it up next time, man, where we can get a video together. And we can make sure that the stream isn't broken up. It probably has a lot to do with both. Probably has a lot to do with the fact that it's StreamYard. StreamYard is probably having issues. Let me go back. Yeah, because he's still black screen. So we'll wait. So, all right. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. We'll try one more time. Juniper said try one more time. If not, do a vid. So we'll see if you can come back in, go in and come back out. What's going on, Anthony Jones? But look, let me tell you something, man. I don't care to debate with people about stupid shit. Okay. I have my own opinion. You have your own opinion. And we're going to wind up, going back and forth about what your opinion is and my opinion is. Get your own YouTube channel, dog, or go over to BFTB and you'll be more than willing and you're more free to talk up a fucking storm. Okay. Said something about Floyd ain't been right since. Said, that's a shame, man. Was looking forward to this. Yeah, it is too, man. But we'll get it right. But said unseen. If you hit a super chat in the bottom right hand Android, you can sign up. Oh yeah. There you go. Hit the super chat, dog. I'll read what you got to say. Yeah, that's just tough, man. We'll make it work it out. Yeah, it's gonna be, dude. We're gonna get the interview done. It's gonna be a good interview because this dude's gonna be a star, man. Y'all gonna be checking him out on major cards. The card that I saw him in the replay that I saw was Holyfield. On the Holyfield. He was with Holyfield. I said, hey, Fannon. Bob Arum said he may send the contract to One Time when he has a video. Send what for One Time? Might send a contract to Keith Thurman. Said, if you got Apple, you need to do it on a computer. No, I'm a Windows guy, but I'll figure it out. We'll get it right. But yeah, man, Bob's going to send a contract to One Time when he has a venue. We'll see. I believe it when we see it, man. Yeah, definitely check him out on YouTube. And there's a really good interview. If you want to see a really good interview with him right now, And today, go to Fight Hype. There was an interview maybe 3 weeks ago that's on Fight Hype. Very good interview, dude. He talks about how he got into boxing, talked about how he made a really good observation. Like some of the things that I was going to talk to him about was an observation he made in that interview. Where he talked about how cats are in the streets, right? He's like, if you see an athlete, a world-class athlete that talks and says that he was really in the street, doing shit in the street, he's like, yeah, probably not, because it's impossible for you to become a world-class fighter. It's impossible for you to become a world-class fighter without being totally dedicated. And if you're totally dedicated, you don't have time to do the stuff that they claim that they're doing. So that's the thing that really got me. You could tell that this dude really is a Bronx cat. He actually said in the interview, he was like, yeah, because I represent the Bronx to the fullest. I was like, yeah, okay. That's the type of dude I like, man. Sorry, Fannon, trying to tell Unseen how to join your channel as a member. Oh, is that what it is? Oh, I thought he was starting shit with me. Join the channel link. Oh, yeah, you can join the channel. Sorry, Seen versus Unseen. Seen, Unseen. I'm always looking for a fight, man. Sorry. Because I got opinions on this stuff that I know a lot of people don't necessarily follow, Like there's a lot of people that really believe in being troopers. You know what I mean? And I love that mindset. But that's not just not how I see it. You know what I mean? And I know that people can be very upset with the criminal justice system and really should be. But certain circumstances, I think it takes time. And I do think that you should allow it to take time, because what happens is if you wind up being too out of sorts about what's going on before you actually see what the result is, then you can wind up being in a situation like with Harvey Weinstein, where Harvey Weinstein, I don't think Harvey Weinstein is ever going to see the light of day again. And I never really equated the Bill Cosby thing to the Harvey Weinstein thing, because I figured they're going to they threw Bill Cosby under the jail forever, and they wound up throwing Harvey Weinstein under the jail forever, So I just don't. It's like I just like to see those type of things play out. He said, Jeffrey Nero says, stop looking for fights for Don. Yeah, I'm sorry. He said, I'm getting slapped around trying to be a member. Nah, you know what you get though, seen versus unseen? What you get is this though. Damn, where'd it go? You get to, let me go here, man. I'm so sorry, man. Don't worry about being a member, man. I'll treat you like a member. Because you shouldn't, I'm sorry, man. My mind was off. But let me go here, man, and see if I can do something from a man seen versus unseen. Oh, God, man. I'm just fucking up today. Tripping over my tongue. Trying to do 4 things at the same time. Here we go. Hold on 1 second, man. All right. We'll do this. Seen versus unseen. There you go. You are now, don't worry about being seen and unseen. Don't worry about being a moderator. Don't worry about being a member. You now have a wrench. Okay. Now you got a wrench. And I apologize. What's good? What's going on, The Real McCoy? Nothing, just chopping it up. We were going to do an interview today, but the interview didn't work out because of the connection. I thought Sean meant a link to join the interview for debate. He meant join the channel. Small communication. Yeah, that's what I thought that was too, but that's all right, man. It's my bad. I apologize, and I give an apology gong. Where's my dang gong, man? Where's my thing? And I give an apology gong to seen and unseen boxing. That's my bad. That is my bad. So look, since the conversation got derailed today, you want a link, you gotta wait, man. You gotta be here a long time, or I gotta blatantly mistreat you. You know what I mean? You either gotta be here a long time and really like have that, or I gotta completely fuck up and treat you badly when I shouldn't have. Like that type of thing. because that's definitely the case. But look, let's okay, Ron Finkley, Tank destroys Leo Santa Cruz. I know he does. I know he does. Is there an I near an O? There's an I near an O, so the Fanny may not be an insult. It says, shame on you for not. I know. Yeah, I know. I's a jackass. I know. It's a shame. I have so many trolls, though. I have so many trolls that it just sometimes, man, I just jump the gun and act a jackass. I know. And I apologize. But anyway, man, so let's change. We got to change the subject of the video today. You know, I apologize. Fans Perspective says link today. Said we only human. Yeah, I know. I appreciate that, man. Bunny Badass. Nobody beats Tank but Lomachenko. Nah, dude. I don't think Lomachenko beats Tank. I think Tank's gonna beat Lomachenko. But I think of the people that could beat Tank. Yeah, I don't see Lomachenko beating him. Because I think Lomachenko's pushing, like, is in his last days, man. I think he's really like looking worn. I think he looks worn. Kind of like they say about Canelo. I don't see the Canelo looks worn. Like, who said? I think it was Jose Benavidez, David Benavidez's father, said that he thought that he thinks that Canelo looks worn out. I don't see that in Canelo, other than the fact that he keeps having these knee surgeries. He's got to have knee injuries or whatever. I don't see that in Canelo. But I do see it in Lomachenko. And I don't think Lomachenko, and quite honestly, I don't think we're going to have to really worry. Exactly. I'm kind of with like Veltz. He said Lomachenko will not happen ever. Yeah, ever. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen because I think Teofimo Lopez is going to beat him. I think he's getting set up I think he's getting set up, personally. Bunny Badass said Lomachenko knows too much, moves too much for Tank. Tank loads up like Tank. I like Tank, but Lomachenko ain't an easy fight. No, I don't think he's an easy fight. And I don't think he does move very much, though. I don't think that Lomachenko moves too much for Tank. Lomachenko is not some real, like, he's not running around the ring. He might switch angles pretty quickly, but that's a southpaw and southpaw matchup. So I just think that Gervonta will turn with him, similar to Jose Linares did with him. Same thing that Rigondeaux did it to him. Rigondeaux was just too small, but they start changing angles with him. They not commit, like Jorge Linares and Campbell did the same thing. None of those guys were really caught in that same trap that people were getting caught at by Lomachenko at 130 pounds and at 126 pounds, because they're not stuck in glue while he switches and now he can throw punches at them from the side. They haven't been committing as much to punches, so when he shifts, when he pivots, they pivot. You know, so I think in a large way, I think that matrix puzzle, the matrix has already been solved. All of that stuff that he was doing, he's not been able to pull that off in the last several fights. Not since he got to lightweight has he been able to pull that off. The first guy I think really did that. Man, Sports 101 with TJ, much love in that super chat. I appreciate you, man. He said, Fannon, I have Benavidez as the best 168 over Plant. What do you say? Too big and strong for Plant? I think he is, but I think that the gap is narrowing. I used to have this conversation with a guy named Ty Legacy who used to come by the channel. Haven't seen him in like a year, man. I hope Ty Legacy's well. But Ty Legacy and I used to have these conversations about Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. And my thought was I was really big on David Benavidez and bigger on David Benavidez than I was on Caleb Plant. But I haven't seen David Benavidez really improve in the last 2 years. I mean, he looks like the same fighter that he was 2 years ago. Now, I know that there was that hang up with, the problem that he had with the cocaine and, losing his title because he was doing it because he did a Tyson Fury. And that set him back a little bit. But when I saw him fight Anthony Durrell, I think Anthony Durrell gave him a good fight, except for the fact that there was that cut. And then, David Benavidez was really able to take advantage of it. But I think, so I say all that to say that, Caleb Plant to me looks like he's gotten better. I think he's gotten better. And I think David Benavidez looks like pretty much the same fighter. And you got a David Benavidez, though, who's a walk you down. Like, he's the type of guy that's going to try to walk you down and try to knock you out. And Caleb Plant, I mean, if he can't really catch up with Caleb Plant that way, and Caleb Plant can slip and score punches, I could see Caleb Plant pulling it out. But I do agree that I think right now David Benavidez is the best 168. That's how I see it. Seen and unseen, man. Much love, man. And again, I apologize, man. He said, I'll take Plant over Benavidez. Skills plays the bills. Yeah, unless David Benavidez can pull something out that he's not used. And that's a possibility. It could be that, he is big as a motherfucker, though. I mean, he's big. Dude is very, very big. And that is an advantage. And he can pop. And he's very, very fast. And he's got good defense with his arms. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't necessarily move his feet and try to get out of the way a lot, but he deflects a lot of punches with his hands, catches a lot of shots, parrying a lot of shots. I mean, David Benavidez is the truth, man. He's the truth. And I certainly hope to see the Caleb Plant. I'm interested in what's going to happen when Jamal Charlo moves up to 168. I did a video about that today. Yeah, Caleb Plant is real nice. Real nice. Juniper B said, agreed. Durrell was outboxing him, and Benavidez had a hard time cutting off the ring. Plant is a better boxer than Durrell to me. Yeah, I think he is. Even though I definitely like him, man. Said he definitely huge with great hand speed. Yeah, wow. Man, David Benavidez got crazy hand speed. He ain't got crazy foot speed, but he without a doubt got some crazy hand speed, man. He said, Fannon Plant gonna keep his head on a swivel. That could be true. Durrell even won a round after the cut. Plant will outbox David Benavidez, if not working on footwork. Lead by example. Yeah, it's going to be good. I think that's a good fight. I mean, the other guy that might be the best at 168, and I don't hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. Man, I think Billy Joe Saunders has a shot. I think Billy Joe Saunders has a shot against anybody at 168 too. I wouldn't only dude that I think is I wouldn't say he's trash, but I think is like a level down from everybody else is Callum Smith, the kid, the dude out of the WBA champ out of the UK. He just looks like, I mean, he beat George Groves, but whoop-de-fucking do. And then the last guy that he fought, last fight I saw him in, I can't remember his name. I think he lost that fight. Now, Canelo's not there. Technically, he's, how it's Canelo, man. Canelo, you don't know where Canelo is. But Canelo he doesn't hold the belt at 168. The only belt Canelo holds is at 160. Is the WBA 160. Goofy 030 said, I think Callum kills himself to make 168. Yeah, he probably does. He's probably a big dude, man. I think David Benavidez probably does too. You think Plant washes Canelo? Woo-wee. Man, I don't know. I don't know about that. He better wash him. He better wash him or it's going to be a draw. He better wash him. He better wash him completely or that shit's a draw. I can't see for nothing them giving him the benefit of the doubt in that fight. I mean, he better knock him out to get a draw. Doesn't he have the regular belt at 168? I think he dropped it. I think he dropped that regular 168. But no time like the present to check. Let's see what they give me. The WBA. And we're talking about super middleweight, right? Yep, he still is. You're right. He's still the regular champion. As per the WBA website. Yep. So you're right. He still is 168. Hey, Fan said I'm a big Plant fan. Yeah, he's straight. I like Plant a lot. 168. There's a lot of really good fighters between 147 through 168 is like they've got I love those divisions, man. Canelo not fight no more good fighters after Lara exposed them. Gennady Golovkin's a good fighter. I wouldn't diminish the Gennady Golovkin fight. I think, he's a good fighter. I just don't think Gennady Golovkin is everything everything he was chopped up to be. I'll put it that way. Man, I hate that interview was good, man. That's a nice dude, man. Let's see. What is this? Oh, okay, sorry. Bivol versus Beterbiev. Who wins? That's Justin Tate to get my cash. Much love in that super chat. Oh, fucking Beterbiev. Beterbiev by ugly, vicious knockout. Beterbiev by ugly, vicious knockout. Yeah, sir. Yeah. Gennady Golovkin lost to Derevyanchenko. So what? Gennady Golovkin lost to Derevyanchenko. He didn't lose to Derevyanchenko. He won the fight. But for the sake of what you're saying, but before I do that, let me get back to Justin. Beterbiev by ugly knockout. 7th, 8th round tops. He's gonna work that boy. He's gonna work that boy ugly. It'll be worse. It'll be worse than Beterbiev Wojciech fight. Worse than that. He's gonna mash Bivol. Mash Bivol. Drew, you team Bivol, man. Beterbiev gonna kill that dude, man. He said, I'm leaning Beterbiev. Bivol would have to have insane defense, dude. Bivol's gonna get beat up, dude, and knocked out and stopped. Okay. That's not, and I'm telling you what's gonna happen. I'm not even making a prediction. I'm gonna tell you like I already saw the fight. He's gonna get knocked out. Period. He's gonna get knocked out. Period. Beterbiev is gonna knock his ass out. Period. No other way that I can see that fight going other than you getting your ass knocked out. Void, man, dude, look, Velts, don't try to get me to pronounce Eastern European names, okay? I ain't even gonna try, dog. Okay. And let me tell you, if I pronounce an Eastern European name correctly, I went to my pronounced website to figure it out and practice. You know who the fuck I'm talking about. The dude who got his ass knocked out, the dude that damn near killed Adonis Stevenson for the WBC title, turned around and got his ass demolished by Beterbiev. They be having 8 syllables in their names. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Stop. You know what I mean? Beterbiev. Man, I've heard it pronounced both ways. I've heard it pronounced Beterbiev and Beterbiev. I've heard it both ways, man. You know who I'm talking about, man. Come on, man. This is a global sport. I'm not going to say it right. I'm not going to say it correctly. Okay? Even if I say it as close as I can in an English accent, it's still not right. It's like you guys going to ask me to say some African dude's name with a in the middle of it. Like, I can't do that shit. He said, Beterbiev is a monster. He's on my pound for pound list. Yeah, I just think he's a monster. Yeah, he's a monster. And he's going to walk that dude down. He's going to wind up hurting him. He trains like a beast. He trains like that's a strong dude, man. Absolutely super conditioned. And I think he's clean, but if he wasn't, I wouldn't be shocked. But he's a very, very strong fighter, man. Very strong fighter. Any more questions? Come on, man. Give me a hard question. That's not even a hard question. Beterbiev and Bivol, that's easy. He said, Francis said, who gives a fuck? Did I say it right for now? Exactly. Who gives a fuck? Dude, you know what I'm talking about, man. Please don't be petty with me. Come on, man. Beterbiev has big stamina. He's a great fighter, man. He really, dude, I didn't see that coming. Like the Wojciech thing, I didn't see that coming because I think Wojcik beats, or however you pronounce it, the Ukrainian. I'll say it that the guy from the Ukraine, the Ukraine that Paulie. Hey yo, Paulie. The dominant species. The dude from the dominant species got his ass knocked out. Pimpin' Ken or Bishop Magic Don Juan. I must go with Bishop Magic Don Juan because he is from the Chi. Of course, pimpin'. I go with the big pimpin' from Chicago, man. Of course, green and gold, baby, green and gold. Much love. He said, I want to see him destroy Canelo. Yeah, they're not going to make that fight. That's why Canelo's at 168, not 175. Because he ain't fighting. That dude is going to kill Cole. Man, way out of his league with that one. Man, Avery 81st, man, much love. Thank you so much in that super chat. Oh, Fannon, who wins in the prime, Prince Nassim or Lomachenko? Let me check the weight class first. He's a 130, right? 126, 130. He wasn't all the way up at lightweight. Oh, man, Prince Nassim is that's the most overrated fighter in the history of boxing. Okay, Prince Nassim Ahmed. Prince Nassim Ahmed is going to get his ass whooped by Vasily Lomachenko. Ass whooped. Ass whoopage. Wojcik, if you say so. Say he Wojcik if you say so, Don. Wojcik, I thought that's how you pronounce it. I know you don't pronounce the G. Oh, Prince was 130 to 135. Yeah, he gets his ass whooped. Much love, man, in that super chat. He gets his ass whooped. Lomachenko whoop his ass. Yeah, Lomachenko ain't no fake, okay? I think Terrence Crawford is the number one pound for pound, but Lomachenko ain't no fake, dog. Lomachenko's the real deal. But Prince Nassim Ahmed was a fraud, okay? A fraud. Dude, I was watching him like, what is this shit? He keeps getting dropped by Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly was a good fighter. Kevin Kelly's a good fighter. If he didn't have if Prince Nassim Ahmed didn't have the power he had, he would have lost to Kevin Kelly. And when he got his ass mopped up by Marco Antonio Barrera, just mopped up. And then he's a bitch to boot. Because at least when Adrian Bronner got beat by Marcus Maidana, he didn't stop fighting. He didn't take his ball and go home. Prince Nassim Ahmed got his ass whooped out of boxing. Never even walked into a ring again after that ass whooping. Then put on like 150 pounds. Then he put on like 150 pounds as a retired fighter. Not big on Prince Nassim Ahmed at all, dude. Bill said, so disappointed in Loma. He could defend the WBC belt this winter. Yeah, I understand. But Lomachenko, got to tell you, the thing is, though, he is the truth. He really is the truth. Lomachenko is the truth. That's not some overhyped, like some overrated fighter. Like, technically speaking, he's not an overrated fighter. Unless you mean the rating that Bob Arum gives him. You know what I mean? Got embarrassed. Yeah, exactly. Retired that boy. Got embarrassed by a true fighter. Yeah. They have a way of doing that. Like, UK fighters have a way of getting their ass beat up by Mexicans. Like, when they think shit is shiny. Boop! Out of the blue comes mi hermano. And knock his ass out, dude. Okay, now you know who I'm thinking about. AJ. They was all hyped, and boop, there come Andy Ruiz. He shamed his family. I'm surprised they didn't decapitate the prince. Yeah, that is, dude, just never to fight again. Dog, get back on the winning way, man. Make sure I didn't miss something. I think I did. Say, do you think Teofimo Lopez versus Loma? Okay, how do you think Teofimo Lopez versus Loma would have played out? I think that it's going to be a win for Teofimo Lopez. I think it's going to be a majority decision win for Teofimo Lopez. Because I think Lomachenko's getting set up. That's my belief. I don't trust Top Rank. And I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think he's getting set up by Top Rank. I think it's out with the old, in with the new with that fight. Because Lomachenko really doesn't have anywhere to go in the Top Rank stable. The fight with Manny Pacquiao is not going to happen. Gervonta did the fight with Gervonta Davis. That's got to be a co-promotion with Mayweather Productions. And Lomachenko's older and might lose that fight to Gervonta. I think that the Top Rank, who are very bright people and definitely know the sport of boxing, would rather have Lomachenko lose to Teofimo Lopez, because Teofimo Lopez has more fights left in him and more weight classes to climb. And he could eventually be up there and fighting the other guys that they have at 100, the other top ranked guys who are out there at 140 pounds, being Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor, if not all the way up to a Terrence Crawford. So I don't see Lomachenko being as valuable right now to Tank. I don't see Lomachenko being as valuable to Top Rank right now as Teofimo Lopez is for the future. Smush3 said Ennis versus Teofimo Lopez. That's what I think. 3 rounds. And Teofimo Lopez is over with. Not even a fair fight. It's not even a fair fight. Jaron Ennis will beat the piss out of Teofimo Lopez, and it won't even be funny. Teofimo Lopez will be humiliated in a fight with Jaron Ennis. And they're close in experience too, because Teofimo Lopez ain't really beating anybody. I mean, he beat Richard Comey. But you got and Teofimo Lopez is way too little. I mean, like the dimensions. Yeah, I see Ron Finger said too small, Loma goes night-night. I believe that could happen. I do believe he could, but it's tough for me to say that he'll go to sleep. But I just don't see it for Lomachenko in that fight, man. Yeah, he said, Steelers for life, said Fannon, easy work for Ennis. Easy work. That's easy work for Ennis. Easy. Tank is the future of boxing, though? No, he ain't. He's too little. Tank or Garcia, who wins, or Ryan Garcia, man, Tank by knockout. Tank by knockout. 4 rounds. Tank by knockout. Man, please. I ain't no way I can see Ryan Garcia beating Gervonta Davis. And I don't care how big he is. Loma versus a prime Zab Judah. Lomachenko. I hate it, but Lomachenko. I want to respect my man Zab, but I take Lomachenko. I'll take Loma over Zab. I know Zab's bigger, but Zab is flawed, man. Zab is a front runner, and Zab is flawed. But then again, there is a size difference between the two, and at 135, I don't even know if Zab ever fought at 135. Did Zab ever fight at 135? I thought he was like he went to 140, went to 147, but Zab got a funny chin, Loma versus a prime Duran. RC Boxing Life says, salute, big bro. Peace and blessings. Any daily affirmation? Absolutely. Fuck Dillian White. I'll do that for Big Dog Willie. That's my daily affirmation. And they need to throw them dudes that did that shit underneath the fucking jail. Is what I think. Underneath the jail. I'll judge it ahead of time. There ain't no reason to be chasing somebody down the fucking street like that. Like, dude, what the fuck did they think that shit was? They were literally tracking that motherfucker. They looked like they were hunting a wild animal or something. Driving behind a dude with a shotgun in a truck. And walked up on the dude like they had any right to be asking this dude any fucking questions. I'm sorry. I went back to that too, man. Justin, to get my cash, he said, hey, Bob Arum versus Eddie Hearn in a fight. Who would win? Eddie Hearn. Bob Arum's 90 years old. Eddie Hearn's like 6'9". I know he's what, like 6'6", 6'7", something like that. Man, he's way too much reach. Way too much reach out of Eddie, dude. Yeah, it's a setup. Yeah, it's a setup. Dude, that's why I couldn't get. He said, I changed it to Ishe Smith. Oh, fuck Ishe Smith. Ishe Smith. Dog, that dude said some shit like, you know that dude's off his shit. Somebody asked him, like, does he think racism? Yeah, racism is real outside of boxing. It's not real inside of boxing. But they asked him what he thought about Paulie Malignaggi. He said, well, if Paulie Malignaggi means in boxing, then I agree with him. Nah, dude, that's not what he said. Paulie Malignaggi said that racism is a fucking in the figment of the imagination of black people. He said that it's made up and exaggerated. That's what he said. But he wouldn't even answer the question about that. He didn't want to go out of the way of insulting Paulie. It's like, I've known Paulie a long time. Paulie's a really good guy. Get the fuck out of here, man. They said they thought they were going to get away with the Fannon. They felt entitled. Yeah, who recorded it? That was, oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm bugging. That wasn't a police. The police didn't record that, did they? Was that the police that recorded it or somebody that drove up and recorded it? Who actually recorded that? They say, yeah, somehow it exists everywhere but boxing. Yeah, that wasn't the police, right? That was somebody that pulled up behind them, right? Oh, them motherfuckers need to go to jail forever. They need to go to jail forever for that. You can't, I mean, who are you? You don't have the right, a friend of them. Yeah, you can't. Oh, like they were documenting it for them. Dude, you can't leave your house. If you think somebody stole from you, once they leave your house and they're down the block, you do not have gunshots as a recourse. You're not standing your ground. You are chasing somebody down. That is hunting somebody. You're hunting somebody. You're in a pickup truck with a shotgun, walking up on somebody with a shotgun. Who the fuck are you? You don't have the right to do that. So for those, I have no doubt what should happen. That is hunting somebody. Somebody's running down the street. There's a nigga running down the street. Get the truck. Get the guns. And for Jason, you know who makes me sad though? Hey, thanks, Seen and Unseen Bison. You know who makes me really sad? Makes me sad. Jason Whitlock makes me sad. Because he's so fucking talented. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever read him, like read his writing and not listen to what he says, but really read his articles. Now, I might not agree with what he says, but that motherfucker can write. I mean, that dude can write. He is that dude is talented, man. Really talented as a writer. But as a human being, he's a fucking blob piece of shit. Like, so it's like, dude, if he could use that talent, like in a way that really did uplift black people, man, Jason Whitlock might fuck around and be like a James Baldwin or some shit. I mean, the dude can write his ass off, but he is a fucking idiot and a complete and utterly full of shit. He doesn't even believe the shit that he's saying. Like, he don't even believe that shit. He's just out there to try to counter, said Tom Whitlock. Yeah, Whitlock. He said, I turn the channel when Jason Whitlock is on. He always goes against the grain. He's just a dick. He's a dick, but he's talented, though. He really is talented. But, God, dog, man. They recorded it themselves. Oh, said the phone call to the police had me pissed off. The dispatcher asked what he was doing, and all they said was he was running. I told you they're fucking dogs. Told you motherfuckers like that are animals. They're fucking animals. Who else? Who run? If you run by somebody's house, what type of animal would be at that house that would chase you down the street? A dog. They have the mentality of a dog. He ran by my house. He ran down. Was he on your grass when he ran? No, he was in the middle of a public street. So he's running down a public street, and you decided to chase him down and ask him questions. You tried to arrest him? You tried to arrest him? Like, that's what it seems like they're doing. Like, they're trying to arrest him. They're trying to abduct him. This dude is running down the street, and you chasing him with a fucking shotgun. You're trying to abduct him. And when he refuses to let you abduct him, you shoot him? And it's not surprising at all. It's not. I told you how they behave. I told you how that shit works. It's cool. Said the defendant's lawyers released the video thinking it would vindicate them. Oh, because he was fighting back? Because he was fighting back. Oh, and he shot him because he was fighting back. He was grabbing for my gun. Oh, he was grabbing you. The gunshot went off because you were grabbing his gun. He grabbed your gun. That's why he got shot. What the fuck are you doing putting a gun in his face to begin with? That's self-defense. You point a gun at somebody, they feel like they're at risk of imminent bodily harm. If they grab the gun, that's self-defense. I wouldn't have fought, but that's because I've been in that situation before, and I believe they want to shoot you. I wouldn't have. But it's reasonable for somebody to. But then again, like I said, I'm not running down these motherfucking streets because I know what might come out. I walk down. For real? What? No, I wouldn't have fought back. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't fight it back against a dude with a shotgun. Fuck am I gonna do with somebody with a shotgun? I'm gonna get shot. Fight's gonna be over. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not saying that it's not realistic that somebody else wouldn't. He said, yeah, it's survival instinct to fight back. It is survival to fight back. It is. You know what I mean? It is. I can tell it's deeper meaning behind it all. I sounded like a person who robbed somebody in Georgia and got arrested, and they killed this dude in February and just got arrested. I sounded like a person who robbed somebody in Georgia and got arrested, and they killed this dude in February and just got arrested. Yeah, I mean, hey, it makes you wonder why. Why? There was obviously some pressure had to be put on somebody to arrest them, and they might have never been arrested if there wasn't the video. Might have been. I'm sure there's a lot of black people that get killed and nobody knows about it. There are people that are determined to be suicides with hanging from nooses. Ahmed happened in February. Yeah, I understand. I don't run without my Glock. No way. Yeah, it's just, I grew up in areas where people think like that and behave like that. And as a result of having been surrounded by that for many, many years, the way my mind works in that situation might be different than somebody else. I am not confused. I do not believe that they think that I have the right to be there. I can park on a street. I've parked on a street in a neighborhood. Just parked on the street. And my daughter in the house has a tennis court. And my daughter is playing tennis against somebody else on a tennis court that's owned by the family. I'm sitting in my car on a public street looking at my phone. And then I get a tap on my window. And there's a policeman there. Now, I know that the police have guns. And the police have a shotgun in their car too. And they have the ability to call other people, and they're more than willing to use it. So I felt as if somebody saw me parked there and put my life at risk by calling the police on me when I wasn't doing anything but sitting in a car on a public street in an area that is where parking is allowed. Right? But what would have happened if I would have got upset about it? And I would have yelled at the police officer, or I refused to give the police officer my ID or anything like that. I could have got shot. Or if it was just a bad day and I moved my hand too quick, I could have been shot. But I've been in that situation a lot of times, so I know what to do. And you still might get killed. It's just the truth. People, and I've told people on this chat before, people from black neighborhoods, many times people believe that you are in danger in black neighborhoods because of the crime in black neighborhoods, and depending on the black neighborhood, obviously, but from what I have seen, you are at risk, but usually you're at risk for something that makes sense. Like, if you start a fight with somebody, they might pull out a gun and shoot you. If you are, selling something where somebody else wants to sell it where you are, or whatever all that stuff goes, at least I understand what the violence is, and it should be avoidable, right? When you are a black person and you move into an area where you are one of the only black people, it is not. Violence does not make sense. And you have to protect yourself from that scenario. You cannot assume that you have the same rights as other people in that area. Because the people in that area do not think you belong there. They see you as a threat, or as somebody, if you're there and you're not able to defend yourself, they see you as a mark that they can get away with something on. You have to treat those areas like that. And that's wherever you are, because they don't have sympathy for you. I have conversations with people that are in my neighborhood, and I hold the conversations like conversations where I'm not going to debate with them because I don't care what they think. And quite honestly, I don't really care about them knowing what I think, but I'll sit and listen to what they have to say. And trust me on this. Their first instinct is to believe whoever it is that shot you. That's the first instinct. The first instinct is, nigga got shot. What did he do to deserve to get shot? And you are working backwards from that premise. You're working backwards from he deserved to get shot to, oh, well, that didn't make sense why he would shoot him. And I've had the conversations. I had the conversations about Michael Brown. Now I'm listening to these people who are decent people, right? And they say, well, it doesn't sound quite right, but hey, this is a police officer and he's in a bad neighborhood. So, it's unfortunate, but sometimes you really got to look at it from the position of the police. And you hear it over and over and over and over and over again. This is what I told you guys. You are here to be policed. You are here to be policed. And what were the police? Before they were the police, they were the slave patrol. And what did you just see that guy do? What did it look like he was doing? A nigga was running down the street and he thought it was his duty to get a shotgun and his boy and go chase him down and make sure he took that dude back to wherever it was that he believed that he belonged, because he doesn't belong here on this street in this neighborhood. And they knew he didn't belong there on sight. That's the reality. That's the reality of it. But people don't want to believe that that's the reality of it. And most times I hear people that don't believe it's the reality of it didn't live the majority of their life around people like that. If you lived around people like that, long enough, you would recognize that. And you would say, nah. They said they're not decent. No, they were decent people. They were decent people. Decent. They were decent people. That's their worldview. That's their view. You know? They're rationalizing when that scary ass Latin cop shot Philando, or when Betty shot the brother in Oklahoma. I mean, it is what it is. Who are they to say who belongs where? They're them. They do tell you where you belong. Man, I'm just, look. All right. All right. Think they don't. They tell you where you belong. And when you don't belong there, they re-gentrify your neighborhoods and will price you the fuck up out of there. It's just what it is, man. It's what it is. Historically, the patty rollers were always low-class whites who worked on plantations but had freedom and were paying off debt to the plantation owner. What are you talking about, like indentured servants? Talking about it like indentured servitude? Look, man, I'm just telling you what America is, dude, in my experience. You guys can have it. You can have your own experiences, and you can see it the way that you see it. I don't have experience dealing in black neighborhoods as a teenager, and you know, like for example, the guy that was on the Peter Dobson, who we were interviewing, but the interview broke up, talked about what it was like to grow up in the Bronx and what it was like to have uncles who carried big knots of money, right? And you know, like the fighting and all the stuff that was going on in Brooklyn, or in the Bronx, excuse me. That's not my experience. You can hear people talk about what it's like to grow up in Inglewood, in Chicago, or what it's like to grow up in West Philadelphia, in these different areas. It can tell you what it's like to run the streets in those areas. I can tell you what it's like to run the streets in those areas that this dude was running down the street in. You can't run down the street. You can't do it. You are putting your shit at risk. And you can say we can say who are they to do it, but I'm telling you they're going to do it. They're going to do it. The United States is rural, large, and by and large, rural. You have big city here, big city there. Let's name the big cities, right? You have New York, you have Chicago, you have Dallas, Houston, like Austin, Miami. You have big cities, but the majority of America is rural. It's majority of it is rural. And in those rural areas, you're dealing with rural people. And those rural people will shoot you. And that's just what it is. And you better be hope they ain't got a pig grinder around them, because then your ass will never be found. That's what I have come to learn. And then people and I can't tell you how many times people say, "Oh, it's your imagination." But then I tell them after the next kid gets killed in the same situation, it's not my imagination. That's what it is. There's a big marketing push in the United States where race doesn't matter, right? I'm colorblind. Race doesn't matter. We're going to put pictures of black men and white women married and white women and black men. And look at these cities, these integrated cities where you have people going to school together and all that. Dude, that is not the vast majority of the geography of the United States. It's not. You have whole states like Mississippi and Alabama and Florida and Illinois and Iowa and Kansas and Missouri and Oklahoma and Arkansas and Montana and Idaho and Colorado, where you have big gaps of nothing but poor European descendants of Europeans there. And they don't feel particularly loving towards you, and they don't feel any hesitancy if they feel any danger whatsoever to light you full of fucking lead. And you might screw around and get you some teenagers that are drunk and feel like, hey, let me tie you to a car and drive your ass bouncing. Let me tie you to the back of my truck and bounce your fucking and drive you to your head bounces the fuck off. That happened to David Bird. I think his name was David Bird. Excuse me if his name wasn't David Bird, but it was a man named Bird, and that happened in Texas several years ago. And I'm going to tell you again, dude, keep this situation in mind. And the next time it happens in a month, remember I told you this. That's what it is. It's not my imagination. It is a real practical way you have to handle yourself in those situations, because we understand that racism is real, but we don't realize the extent to which people are willing to commit violence against us. They will do it, and they have no qualms about doing it. And if there's a way to let them off the hook, their neighbors are going to let them off the hook, because their neighbors believe that it's reasonable that you could be afraid of a black guy. This is what it is. I remember when I was my first year in law school, and I really hate that I cannot remember the name of this case. But my first year in law school, I remember a conversation taking place in, they used to call it the Rat Scallion. In the Rat, it's like in the bottom, it's like a gathering area, right? And they were talking about these third years. We're talking, law school's broken up in the first year, second year, third year. These third years, we're talking about this case where a woman, an old white lady, was walking in an alleyway. And there was a big black guy that just walked down the alleyway to get to his car. And then when the old lady saw him, she shot him multiple times and killed him for nothing other than the fact that she was surprised to see him there. And she got off because they said that it was and under those circumstances, it was reasonable for her to believe that this big black dude was going to commit some act of violence against her in that alleyway. As a result, she got off. That man died, and that was it. But it was because in her position, it would have been reasonable for somebody in her position to have been in fear for her life because of the size of the black man walking down the alley. They think it's reasonable. It's reasonable for, what was the nigga running down the street for? He couldn't have been running down for any good reason. He had to have done something. What's you running so fast past my house for? Which one of my neighbor's houses did you rob? You're not even supposed to be in here. You're not white. What you here for? Stop, boy. Stop. What are you here for? Man, I ain't got to answer your questions. Man, get away. I'm running, man. Fuck you, I'm running. No, you're going to stop. You're going to stop. And he puts a gun in and says, man, get that gun out of my face. You ain't got to boom, boom, boom. That dude is wrong as rain. This dude is dead. And wait till it happens again. It's not the first time it happened. It ain't the last time it happened. Oh, slaves call themselves patty roller? Thank you. That's what I'm telling you. Because they thought before they arrest the guy, they got to figure out what was the nigga doing there to begin with. I guarantee you they tried to find out why he was there first. Okay, so what could have happened? Because we said, okay, he didn't get arrested, right? For 2 months. What did they do during the 2 months before they arrested him? I would bet you money they tried to figure out exactly what that nigga was doing in the neighborhood. Because they're like, what are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. Where did he live? Does he have a criminal record? Has he ever robbed anybody before? Has he, was there anybody's house that was broken into? Did any other neighbors see him? Was there any suspicious behavior that could have led they could justify what they did? Did they attack them? Did he threaten anybody? Right? Is he some wild maniac that was going to carry a gun? They're going to try to figure out any and every fucking way to let these dudes off if there was some reason that it was reasonable for them to behave that way. And only when all of those things are exhausted do they have to put him into a court of law and go through the process. And I would not be surprised at all if they got off. Yeah. He said, what's the solution? He lived the block over. He lived in the neighborhood. Don't run down this. There is no solution to that. He's dead. There's no solution. Get luckier next time you're somewhere you don't believe. You don't belong. My solution is I always live near black people. Fuck the crazy shit. I don't live anywhere I cannot see. I don't feel comfortable if I can't see a black neighborhood. Do not feel comfortable at all unless I see a black neighborhood, or at the very least, I see a Mexican neighborhood. Something has got to be around. There's got to be black people in the near vicinity to me. Otherwise, I'm not going to live there. Period. It will never happen. I will never do that. Ever do that. When I lived in Kansas City, if anybody's familiar with Kansas City, and I make decent money, right? I make decent money. I made sure there's a street called Troost that goes right down the middle. Troost. You basically can separate the black side of town from the white side of town based off of Troost Avenue. And there's some right when you go a little bit west of Troost, then, you know, the neighborhood is a little more mixed. So there's a lot of college students and things over there because there's a university there. So I moved there because I knew if I want to go to a store, I can go to a store in a black neighborhood. I know if my son goes to school here, there's going to be a good number of black students here. Because when you're not alone, the problem isn't as bad. The problem really occurs, in my experience, when you're alone, when you're the only one there. Then you can be spotlighted. And then they don't have to worry about anything else. That's when you're in trouble, when you're completely alone. Now, I don't know anything about the dude's neighborhood. I don't know anything about that because like I said, I haven't looked into it that carefully. But it looked like a rural neighborhood, especially since you got cats running around carrying in pickup trucks, carrying shotguns. But you know, Fannon, I work for the railroad. I make sure to find out the demographic if I need to chase work. Oh, he said, hey, Fannon, I live in Overland Park. Nah, I ain't living in Overland Park. I definitely don't want to live. Overland Park got a bunch of snobby ass people out there in Overland Park. But Overland Park isn't like, you know, Overland Park is in Kansas, is what he's talking about. Overland Park is, you know, is in the middle of the city. So that's just, you kind of deal with more like kind of snooty people over there in Overland Park. But I had to go I was in Overland Park all the time because my daughter plays tennis. And that's where most of the tennis competitions are over there. But personally, they wasn't looking to prosecute video contradiction to their stupid story. But I would just say, dude, just be with black people, be around black people, man. Make sure that there's always a safe there's a number of black people somewhere around you. That's what I say. You know? Because, I mean, even as a Kappa, like, I'm a member of a fraternity, right? And shit happens like that. Like, you get boxed into. I went to Chicago one time, and it's when I used to wear, I gotta go, man. My bad. Look, much love to everybody on the chat. I really ran over. I didn't realize I ran over KQKC's time. I'm gonna bounce up out of here, man. Much love to everybody, man. We're gonna try to redo that interview when that connection's better next time, man. He said, that's right. Go amongst your own and be yourself. Yeah, dude, just don't be in dude, we need to live in black neighborhoods, man. Like, that's, I think, is like much of the big thing. Like, live in black neighborhoods. Your money stays in black, even if you're close to a black neighborhood. Stay near your people. Stay close to your people. Oh, KQ is off today. Okay, cool. I'm glad I didn't run too much over on him then. Just stay near your people, you know? And then seriously, the more of us that are around our people, I think the less dysfunctional black neighborhoods will be. Because the more functional black people that stay in black neighborhoods and live around black neighborhoods, the more functional those neighborhoods are going to become. That I think major part of the problem we have in black neighborhoods is that functional black people don't want to live there. And that we see moving into neighborhoods or moving out of those neighborhoods and moving to other places as being a status symbol type of thing. Now, I know living in the neighborhood, you know, especially like if you want a nicer house or whatever, a nicer school district and all that stuff can be tough. You know what I mean? But, you know, it is what it is, man. So anyway, man, much love to everybody in the channel. He said, oh, this is a real video for Fannon. I'm a Patreon. You off this video? I appreciate it, man. We've been talking a lot this weekend, man. And we got that type of stuff over there on the Patreon. But look, man, let me get back with y'all. Thank you so much for your support. And with that, I'm out. Peace.